What's up, guys? It is Friday night, and I'm going for a very late workout. Work was pretty decent. No complaints there. There wasn't like any crazy hours or anything, but I got home and I wanted to take a nap before this lift, which is funny. I probably would have gotten to the lift faster if I had done that, but I watched a movie with my girlfriend instead. It kind of extended more time than the nap would have entailed, but it's a good excuse for quality time. You know, I feel bad taking a nap and then hightailing it to the gym and coming back really late because she's like completely conked out for the night, and it's just not the most advantageous thing to do with spending time together. So anyway, I'm gonna go train shoulders, and that's a fairly quick workout, not too bad. And I gotta tell you, I am feeling great. My food has been lower for a little bit now. Not a while, a little bit. Pretty much my meals went down from like 9 ounces of meat per meal to 7 ounces. Carbs got reduced about 30% in total. And protein shakes, just 10 grams off of it. It was 60, now it's 50. And I gotta tell you, I do feel great, but I still, like everyone, have the anxieties of, oh my God, I'm not eating a ton of food to grow right now, and the anxieties sweep in with that. But I will say, it's not the overt perversing thought in my head like it would be when I was younger, and I think a large part of that's probably just growing up. Like in my younger years of doing this, like it would have bothered me to no end, feeling like I'm not progressing how I should, and just stressing myself out for no good reason. So I gotta tell you, I don't want anyone to think those anxieties go away. They definitely don't. Sorry to break it to you, but it becomes no more than a passing thought over time, instead of it being like the thing completely dragging you down, which at first it definitely will, especially if you're in your first few years of gaining muscle and stuff. Like, you're just so excited about it, you don't want to do anything to waste time. So I'm feeling great though. My digestion's a ton better. My coach he asked me at first, like, obviously we had to lower the food, but he wanted me to pinpoint things that I think are specifically irritating my stomach, and I said nothing. Truthfully, I would get significantly more nauseous after the protein shakes. The reason I didn't want to pinpoint it to that is because at no point in my life has that ever been an issue, and it only became an issue after a year and some change of pounding that much food repeatedly over a long period of time. So I imagine the protein shakes do take a little bit more effort to digest than the other food, but I do not see that being an issue in the absence of eating all that food. So that's why I didn't want to pinpoint it to that. Because it wouldn't be bothering me if I had not been pounding food that hard for that long. And of course, it's not bothering me now, which I think it was a good call on my part to not overly, overanalyze myself in that regard. So, I gotta tell you though, I do enjoy taking naps after work. But you can get caught up in a vicious cycle doing that, because you take a nap, now you're going to the gym a little bit later, now you're going to bed later, now you're going to work again, now you're taking a nap because you didn't get enough sleep the night before, and now you're caught in a vicious loop. And if you're chronically underslept, there's no amount of napping that's gonna make up for just missing out on that couple extra hours of sound sleep. If it's a one-off event, or you're doing it infrequently, I would say go for it. But on the same breath, I think naps are very important. When you look at the top bodybuilders in the world, over time, a common characteristic is they would train really hard and then nap after their training. But they're doing that in addition to sleeping all their allotted hours. So I think it is a fantastic supplemental practice, but not something to put in to make up for sleep you're not getting. That's at least what I've noticed over years and years of consuming all this shit. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, I love a good nap. I fucking love it. I I love the sleepies you get when you come home from work. I love just laying down and being completely passed out within seconds and waking up disoriented, trying to finish the rest of what you have to do that day. I love that period of unconsciousness that's so blissful after work. But we got to cut down on that. And it's going to be eliminated too, because I'm starting a new schedule at work where I'm actually starting later in the day, which that wasn't my first choice to do, but it was the better choice out of all the evils presented to me with the changes they made. And I think it'll be better that way, to be honest, because if I start later in the day, honestly, without the nap, I'm still gonna be going to the gym at relatively the same time getting off work, probably like, I don't know, 9, 10 at night, and I'm gonna be able to go to sleep, probably like the same time I've been going to sleep lately, but get the extra hours in there. So I think it's gonna plan out pretty beautifully. And another thing I really like too is I'm gonna have Saturdays open, because I haven't had Saturdays open in like 3 years, and that really sucks, because there might be something you want to do, and now you have to use like your time off you've collected at work to just do normal shit you like anyone else could do on a Saturday, and that sucks. And especially too, like, I have friends that might compete in like powerlifting or a bodybuilding show, and it's within driving distance, and I've had a few times where I've had to be like, hey man, I just can't take off work for this, and I feel bad, because I really want to provide that emotional support to people when I have the opportunity to, and I feel bad due to my schedule not being able to be there for someone like I know I could. And I'm happy that I got Saturdays open going forward, because that's going to really allow me to be more present for people around me. And also too, if there's like an event going on or something, it's typically on a Saturday, and again, like same predicament I just talked about. It could suck too, especially when you're in a relationship with someone who is working a normal, like, Monday through Friday type schedule. It really sucks, because then like that Saturday shot, and like you could do stuff on Sunday, but it's kind of like wish-washing your time together, because then like one of the days you have off, they go to work. One of the days they have off, you go to work. So you really only have like that one full day of quality time. And honestly, if you're working a ton of hours, that first day off is kind of like you just want to fucking chill and recuperate. So that's a struggle, man. Especially too, like when I was younger, I'd be doing like 12-hour shifts, and it felt like the first like day off of work I had, I was just like completely passed out half the day, just trying to like gain my sanity back. So I'm absolutely stoked about it, to be honest with you. I mean, I mean, whoever's listening to this probably doesn't give a shit about all that, but I'm narrating my life to you. So thanks if you care to listen, I guess. Anyway, shoulders. So I gotta tell you, after beating my body up for closer to 2 decades now, there's just a lot of nagging shit I have going on. Like, labrums are torn about. I'm not gonna go over all of it, but anyway, like, things are just, I'm not a well-oiled machine. I gotta do a lot of warming up for stuff, and there's a lot of things that I've learned not to do. There's things at first, like, oh shit, damn, someone just had a brick in the middle of the street. Because when you're first getting into it, like, your body's just fresh to weightlifting, you just want to like jerk weight around in the gym and kind of lift real explosively and stuff, and hype yourself up to 10, and then rip shit off the floor, and just have a very visceral experience. That's very fun. I had my fun doing that, but I also feel like it was a lot of wasted time, because if I was doing everything right from the jump, I'd be farther along right now and probably have less things that are fucked up. So I can't get away with that anymore. If I do that, I am absolutely certain I will hurt myself. It's not even like a matter of when. Like, I could see myself just wrecking something on my body within the one session of me deciding to lift ignorantly. And the way I lift now, it's better. It's objectively better. Things are controlled. contractions are squeezed all the way. There are pauses most of the time in the transitory period, like between eccentric and concentric on lifts. But even if there's not really a pause, like things are still slow enough that I'm not like doing anything crazy to, kind of like have that nasty rubber band snap around effect on myself. And at first it sucked because I missed lifting that way, but I had to just accept I can't do that if I want to keep doing this. And I've grown to love the way I train now, but I'll tell you what, when you have to change your training style, that fucking sucks. Changing routine is one thing, like that's fine. You're usually happy to change your routine. Eventually it's time to do it. You got to. You still enjoy it. It's a new experience, whatever you're doing. And changing your routine is not that bad. It's usually always positive. It's an upbeat experience. But changing the style in which you lift, that sucks, because the style in which you've been lifting, that's a large part of like the way you've fallen in love with lifting weights. And now you have to change that. It's kind of a little bit of an ego death experience, and it takes a lot of getting used to. There's a learning curve with it. But, you can't lift the same way forever. That's just a given. Unless you were lifting perfect since you started, in which case, like, goddamn, you might be the only person that's done that. And it's amazing if you are. If you are, congratulations. You should feel good about yourself. But that's what it comes down to. It's just, doing what needs to be done so you can stay in the game. There's times, too, where I might really want to hit a PR, but I can tell my body doesn't want to. And then I've actually snapped shit in the past. So it's come down to, it's not even a question anymore. I don't give in to that urge, because do I want to fuck myself up and be out of the gym completely, or do I want to live to lift another day? You always want to live to lift another day. And you got to just keep that in mind, because if you don't, you will hurt yourself and you'll be out of the gym. And a lot of people don't pick it back up after that happens. They hurt themselves bad enough and they're just out of it. Then they start getting real bitter about everything and start talking shit about things, start blaming the lift instead of themselves. It's a messy experience. It's good. I'm going to be honest though. There's certain, like, I do miss getting 10 out of 10 jacked up and ripping a deadlift off the floor. Like something that's not even advantageous to my goals, just like a 1 or 2 rep max, just because you want to prove to yourself that you can do it. Those moments are fun. They are. They're super fun. But it's kind of like nostalgic. I'm sure I'm not saying I'm not going to hit PRs. Just not in that abrasive manner that I once did. And sometimes it's a little difficult to accept your limitations in that part. But you got to remember, the hardest thing too when you're switching everything up is, you choosing not to do ignorant shit is not you being a pussy. Because that's like the overwhelming thought, especially if you had like any kind of like sports background. The common trend is like, don't be a pussy, do it. And that attitude will get you really, really hurt. But if you got to remember, your training intensity comes first, and your intensity is not you getting all worked up and doing something crazy. Your intensity is just you keeping a rapid pace and pumping out quality reps. Let's be honest, those 1 rep deadlifts, those are not quality reps. Even if you're doing like a set of 5, they're not quality reps, man. You're shaking like a deer. You're just trying to prove you could do it. You're not actually trying to stimulate the muscle. And hopefully you're not conflating it in your head that like that is stimulating the muscle, because if it was, you'd be feeling it. And you're not. I know you're not. you may not even feel your body doing it. You just know the weight's continuing to move. And we don't want to be power lifters. We want to be bodybuilders. Unless you want to be a power lifter, in which case, good luck. That community is full of drug addict wannabes with mental illnesses. So so, and the nice part is this is a quick workout. Transitioning right there, you see that? It is a quick workout that I'm doing right now. Like, the only difficult part, which is not even difficult, is doing shoulder presses. And honestly, like, yeah, like, that's very strenuous to do, but so what? It's nowhere comparable to, like, the full body fatigue you get out of squatting and stuff like that. It's not. So it's just mentally putting yourself in a place to do, 5 heavy sets of that, which I know 5 heavy sets, that's in my routine. And then after that, it's just accessory stuff, bunch of raises, rear flies, or revert. Yeah, I used to just say rear flies or reverse flies. Either one works. They're interchangeable. But yeah, so that's the gist of it. Super quick workout. So I'm going to be really happy that I get to sleep in tomorrow. I am so psyched about that. And I should be able to get this workout done in like 45 minutes. Not a lot of lifts, a lot of sets though. Not a huge problem. This guy's following me like a fucking jagoff. Man, I swear to God, these fucking people, dude. Fucking idiots. Okay, we're in the parking lot. All right, guys, I will, I don't know why I'm going to post this. But I will post it. Talk to you later.